Hey, Miles here, milesbeckler.com, and in this video we are going to look at the results of 7 months of aggressive video marketing on YouTube. I have at this point created 175 videos. This video is number 176 in 210 days, which is 7 months. Now, we're going to jump in and look at the analytics inside of YouTube to see exactly what happened. We're also going to look at the analytics on my blog because I have a content marketing system in place where I have a writer taking a few of my blog posts and getting them written out onto my blog to kind of maximize that reach. And again, the whole premise of this channel is that you have the possibility of creating a platform, of building an audience, and ultimately building a business online with very, very minimal amounts of money invested. In all, I've spent maybe $150 in things needed. I have 2 lights, a couple of tripods, but mainly I'm just recording on my laptop right now with a $15 software called Screencast-O-Matic. And on the talking head videos, I use my cell phone, which I already had, right? So there's no fancy technology here. I'm sharing what I know, and the goal has been to show you and teach you at the exact same time, show you with my actions, teach you with my videos, how powerful this can be and how relatively simple this can be once you get started. And that is ultimately the biggest trick. Getting started, because once you get started you can take that first step, then the second, and then the next and the next. My first videos were challenging. They pushed me beyond my limiting belief that I'm not a content creator. I looked awkward, I sounded awkward, and as I did it more I got better at it. Just like going to the gym. The first couple days are awkward. You're lifting the weights. Am I doing this right? I don't know. I feel out of place. You wake up, you're sore, you doubt going back. But if you go back to the gym consistent enough, you're going to see significant physical changes and you're going to love what you see. The same is so true here. So let's jump in and look at some analytics. And I got some cool things at the end that I'm going to share with you. So be sure to stick around. Now you can see here at the top, I have got about 6,000 subscribers. This is actually a little delayed, so I bet it actually is over 6,000 subscribers and a total of over 160,000 views. Another thing to keep in mind as we're moving through this is I really have not kind of optimized every single video every single time. I've published every day, but I have kind of half-assed a lot of the publishing. I found videos yesterday that have no description at all. They have no tags at all, and that's because I'm busy. I have a full-time job that I'm still working every day, so this was a part-time experiment, that anyone can do. You could see 175 videos, and the first thing to note, I think that's really interesting is the view count that's happening right away, right? So this video was published yesterday, the day before. You can see that I'm starting to see quickly hundreds upon hundreds, if not thousands of views within a week. It used to take me weeks and even months to see 1,000+ views on a single video. So everything is working better now that I've stuck with it long enough. Inside of the analytics, you're going to see we're going to do some comparisons, but really, really interesting is in the last 28 days, I've had 500,000 views, minutes watched, excuse me, from about 80,000 views. Now, if you remember, I had about 160,000 overall views on the channel. Half of those almost came in the last 28 days. What this shows is my growth rate is continuing to explode. And you can see my likes has a giant peak, one of the highest peaks I've had, except for when I got plugged by Franklin. Thank you very much, Franklin. Yet another high peak in there. My comments, another high peak in my comments. The number of shares is peaking. So as I'm just going through the motions, publishing my video a day, not really putting too much energy beyond getting it out there, everything is working better. Let's do a quick comparison. I'm going to do past 28 days. Let's see what that does. Now this is 28 days over 28 days, and you can see from 327,000 minutes to 556,000 minutes. So that's somewhere around a 50% increase, right? So I'm still growing 50% month over month essentially. But here is where it gets really cool. Let's jump in and do a last 90-day run. And you can see it almost looks like I'm going from zero to hero, right? Like this is nearly a hockey stick type shape pattern, and you can see my views and my watch time. Here's another gigantic metric, 1,000,000 minutes viewed in 90 days. Like that is astounding. I believe that's something like 16,000 hours or some crazy number of content being watched, and it just goes to show I haven't really changed what I'm doing. I'm publishing a video a day. Pick one topic that I know about, publish it, get it up. If I've got time, I put a good description and all the tags and all that SEO stuff I covered in another video. But ultimately, I'm just getting it out, and you can see my peaks are getting higher, my lows are also higher, and everything is going up. Let's run the comparison. This is where it gets really interesting. And you're going to see, so this is essentially the orange line that you're looking at here is months 2, 3, and 4. The blue line that you're looking at here is months 5, 6, and 7. And you can see it literally looks like I'm bumping up against the ground here, right? Like it looks like I'm bouncing off zero. There's a couple of 100 views in a day, but we're talking 14,000 views in a day versus, or 14,000 minutes versus 142 minutes viewed in a day. Down here, you're looking at literally the difference between a couple of dozen or a few dozen views to over 1,000. And look at these numbers right here. We're literally talking a 15x increase, right? That's a 1,500% increase in simply an additional 90 days of effort beyond those first that 90 days, right? 48,000 minutes viewed to 1,000,000 minutes viewed. That's over a 20x increase. That's over a 2,000% increase. And even on the average view duration, if you look at it, like those numbers are that's 2-minute different. That's almost a 50%. So what really happened, and what I think this average view duration shows, is I got better at this, right? Like I was scared. I was doubtful I could do it before I started. I had myself mentally convinced I was a behind the scenes only kind of guy. I don't come out in front of the camera. That's what my wife does. I just sit behind and I make things work. I do conversion optimization. I run Facebook ads, etc. I broke out of that mindset. I changed the limiting beliefs in my mind, and then I stuck with it. And like that gym analogy, right? I got fitter and fitter. I was able to pump more iron for longer. I put out longer content. I've been more engaging with the audience. I've been giving more advanced strategies. I've been giving more beginner strategies. I've just been giving more and more of myself. And this average view duration is a really powerful number. But this, my friend, this watch time minutes, there's a reason that YouTube puts this metric in the top left corner. And that's because this is a very, very important metric. And you notice when you start to get these bumps going up, it rarely dips down below the bumps for very long. And you can see I'm riding on a really good bump here. And the odds are I have all the data in the world that if I keep this up and I keep doing a video a day, that I have every inkling to expect all of these numbers to continue, right? And if you're in a position right now where you're watching this where you don't really have a business growing at this point, or you've kind of dabbled in internet marketing, but you don't feel like you're getting the momentum that you want, this proves so clearly my entire philosophy that it takes doing small things consistently over a long period of time. Most people are out there looking for the big shiny object, or they're jumping from one thing to another. Oh, I'll try blogging for a month or two. Man, that's really tough. Let me try video marketing for a month or two. Man, that's really tough. Let me try Instagram marketing for a month or two. Man, that's really tough. But if you do that kind of approach in a business online, you're never going to get that consistency of effort over long periods of time. We're talking, I'm 7 months in and I'm finally getting the results. My email list is growing now by over 10 subscribers a day, which is several hundred subscribers every month. And I've got a tip for you at the end of this video about what I would do again if I was doing this differently, or if this was my first foray into internet marketing. But let's dig a little bit deeper in the numbers. You can see down here in the likes, it's literally night and day. But what I want you to see is this little level up. I'm gonna actually increase the size of this. So your likes metric is a really important metric for for YouTube, right? YouTube wants to know, let me see. There's my line graph. YouTube wants to make sure that you're putting out content that its users are liking, because YouTube's goal is to sell advertising to its users. And if you put out content they like and they keep going back to you, you get rewarded with better rankings in YouTube. So what kind of like market proof, right? What kind of statistical proof do we have when this works? Well, you can see I've got, and there another one just happened. I call these level up moments. So you can see at this point, I don't know when this was. It was like March something. I don't even know when that was. But anyways, I was chugging along in this operating range of below 50 likes per day. Something happened here. And at this point, I jumped up and then it peaked up again. And if you notice, I never went back down below 50 likes a day and still have not. But what's happened recently? I just had this huge spike up right here. So I'm going to ask you straight up, I'm going to be perfectly honest. Please, if you wouldn't mind, give me a thumbs up on that video. On this video you're watching right now, click the thumbs up button and give me a like to help me keep this bump up here. Because what's going to happen, and this is my kind of data analysis of how YouTube works, is once you reach these new highs and you get enough momentum to keep you above them for about a week, then you always stay in these new operating ranges. So I went from below 50 a day to around 110 a day. Now this is around the 150 mark, potentially 100 to 150 mark per day, as long as I can bump this up. And that's the same thing that you're going to be doing, right? It's literally these same kinds of things. I want to go back and look at these minutes viewed again and show you how that same sort of concept of these leveling up moments, it was actually view numbers. I'm going to go back one quick second. I apologize. Here we go. And then I need to click on the graph. Just give it one quick second to load. All right. So now this is all happening relatively quickly within my channel because of my frequency of publishing. And again, if you could do one thing, publish every day. If you can only do Monday through Friday, do Monday through Friday. If you can only do 4 days a week, do 4 days a week. Push yourself. Do more than you think you could. I didn't think I could do 90 videos in 90 days. And in turn, turns out I can. And I know you can too. But what happens is we get in these operating ranges, right? And this is how YouTube's algorithm works. And so right here, you can see for about a week, I was kind of in this range. Then it dipped a little bit and I had a bump. And then I was operating in this range. Then I had a bump and I was operating in this range. Then I had a bump up and now I'm kind of operating in a higher range and I've just seen another bump up. And these bumps come from A, releasing a really good video, B, following a really good video up with another really good video. It's not just about what we do on this video to get this big bump. It's about the video we publish immediately afterwards. And this is where publishing every day is so powerful for you, because if you put up a great video and then you don't do anything on your channel for 3 or 4 days, you lose your momentum. If you do a great video and then a day later you got another great video coming out and you hit your social media with that one too, and you push traffic and people are finding your next video and you have back-to-back increases, back-to-back-to-back increases, your entire viewership will remain in a higher level than before. And you can see it here, boom, boom, boom. Because I mean, this video, right, it looks like it's on a down note, but look at how high it was compared to all these videos, right? So I followed up a great video with a very good video, another very good video, and I get rewarded from this moment in time on with more traffic and views, right? Every day, more traffic and views than every day before, period. And that's how the game works. So here's one of the questions. How do you know what's going to be a good video? You don't. You just got to put it out. Some of the videos I published that I thought, oh, this is going to be a killer, this one's going to explode, this is going to be a great one, have literally fallen flat on their face. I've been humbled by this repeatedly. Some of the videos I put out, like, I don't know, I felt like this was the video to do today. I really don't know how good it's going to be. I'm just going to put this out anyways, have absolutely exploded to the upside. The truth of the matter is that the market is the ultimate kind of answer, right? The market decides whether something's going to be successful. We don't decide if something's going to be successful. So what do we do as the content creator? We publish with a fervent pitch. We just go and publish and publish and publish and publish, and the law of large numbers takes over. And in the course of creating 175 videos, I still have about 5 videos that are accounting for all of my traffic. And I just popped another one up a couple of weeks ago. So it's not like they all happened in the beginning. It's not like all my early videos got me all the traffic, right? Because my early videos are the orange line down here. They weren't getting traffic. They were literally getting 10 times less traffic, but I had to go through the process of publishing all of these videos. And in the moment I published them, they were the best content I could possibly muster up. I wasn't holding out for the end. I wasn't thinking, oh, well, these my great videos I'll publish in day 150 to 170, but my okay videos I'll publish on days 5, 6, and 7. Not at all. Every day, the absolute best I could do, and I publish it. And you have to take that approach because that's what gets rewarded over time. Then you have to multiply that with the just outwork everyone type thing. I guarantee you, I would love for you, if you find somebody or know of somebody who's publishing higher quality content than I'm publishing more frequently than I've been publishing for the last 6 or 7 months, shoot me a link to them. I want to see it. I don't believe they're out there. And you, I don't care if you're in the dog niche, the golf niche, the green smoothie niche, the health and fitness niche. I don't care what niche you're in. It could be any niche. And if you go into that niche and you outwork everyone and you publish your best content you can at the exact same time, right? You're going on the quality side and the quantity side, and you push on that for a year, you're going to change your life. You're absolutely going to change your life. At this point, I have enough of an audience going on. I could literally build a full-time business. I could be making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month with this kind of traffic and this audience. I don't need the money because I have a full-time job, and I don't want to go there because I'm in the internet marketing space, and I believe there's too many people teaching internet marketing just to make money. And I think I don't agree with that approach. I want to be the person who just teaches this to teach it because I want you to know what is required in order to build a successful business online. And I don't think you should have to pay for this. Am I making these videos for my 17-year-old self who had to figure all this out over the course of 10 years the hard way? Probably. You get the byproduct of all that. Cool. I'm done in here. If this doesn't tell you a story of why you should be publishing a video every day and how powerful this actually is, I don't know what will. Those two charts, this overlay of a chart is absolutely astounding. But let's take it to the next level because this is ultimately where I get my opt-ins from, right? And my list is growing. And the one thing, as I mentioned earlier, that I wanted to tell you that I would do differently is I would start building my list earlier. I really didn't build a list until about a month and a half ago. About 5-ish months in is when I kind of got the first list building component in place. That should have been in place month 1 or 2. That should have been a priority on my nights and weekends, and I just didn't care. Again, it's because of my approach. I didn't want to do this for money. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this to prove to the world, to you, and to myself that A, I can grow an audience, B, I'm a content creator, right? That's my personal stuff. But for you, I want you to see how easy it is to build an audience, right? And it's how simple it is. It's not easy, right? Life got in the way. I've traveled across the world and back. I flew across the Pacific Ocean 3 separate times during this time, and keeping the video machine on while dealing with jet lag, while going to 4 or 5 day conferences, it's difficult. It's difficult. It's simple in theory to do a video a day. It's not easy in execution to do it, but it's so worth it. And you can do this in your niche. I don't even care if you're teaching people how to grow orchids, right? Like whatever it is, you can create this kind of momentum and build a true business, and you're 6, 7, 8 months away. Think back for a quick moment before I get into the statistics. Where were you 7 months ago? It was August. Mid to late August. In the Northern Hemisphere, it was summertime. What were you doing? Imagine if you had a list of 1,000 people all ready to listen to everything you say every time you email them. You could email 1,000 people. You could email them an offer to something to buy. You could create something. You could just give to them. Imagine if you had 6,000 subscribers that when you publish a new video, they saw your video. Imagine you have tens upon tens of thousands of views per day to your content, and you're able to promote affiliate products, your own personal products, coaching services, etc. Imagine 6 months from now, you've got $5,000 a month coming in from your online business. It's not passive income. It takes hard work. Imagine, like, what would your life be like? Are you willing to spend an hour or two a day for 7 months, and for the first 3, 4, 5 months, literally feel like you're getting no results at all in order to hit that inflection point of boom, YouTube trusts you now. YouTube's algorithm trusts you. They're now going to deem you as worthy of visitorship because you kept publishing. Imagine, what would your life be like if you had $5,000 a month coming in every month from your internet-based business? All right, let's jump in. Let's look at it. Sorry, it's so possible for you. I want you to get this. Now, my blog was absolutely abandoned before I started this. I believe I was getting 60 visits a month. I'm up to 6,300 visits per month, which is incredible. But another thing to notice is the shape of this curve. Do you notice how it's got this kind of like growing surge shape to it? It's really, really powerful. I'm going to do a month over month comparison. We're almost done here. Stick with me to the end because there's something really powerful you're going to see here that's going to give you an aha moment that's really important. So this is kind of month over month, right? So this is this last 30-day period versus the 30-day period before. Blue line is the current one. And you can see a 40% increase month over month. And that's with this gigantic spike in here, right? And these are anomalies. This was, I believe I mailed a list, or I put a direct kind of a push to the list from YouTube to my website, which I rarely did, by the way. This growth did not come from me putting in all my YouTube videos, go back to my site and check it out. Not at all. I keep YouTube people on YouTube. I've had those items transcribed, those videos transcribed on Trint, TRINT.com. It's 25 cents a minute. And then I have a copywriter go through, a copy editor, kind of edit it and tweak it and clean it up so it's in written word form so it's easy to read. And then I publish to my blog. In total, I've done about 2 posts per week is all I've done to my blog out of the 7 videos per week I've been doing. I pick a couple of them, I pass them off, she gets them all in place for me, set up, and I publish them. So a 40% increase month over month. We're in a day and age when people are freaking out about SEO and most people's organic traffic numbers are going down. But this is proof that with nothing special, with just publishing on a very consistent pace, hyper-targeted items focused on keyword phrases. That's the one thing I've done. If you haven't seen my keyword video, I'll link to it up here in one of the corners. You'll see a little eye thing pop up because that keyword tool is probably the actual trick that makes all this work by focusing my content on things people are searching for. Let's do another quick run and let's go back to, I'm going to do a 90 over 90 here so you can see the same thing. So I think I need to go to December 18th. Where are you? There we go. So this might not be exactly 90 days, but it's about 90 days. It's about 3 months from December through March. I think it actually is 90 days. So you can see the shape of this is just astounding. And the amount of visits here, so 200, 185, 200 visits a day versus 40, right? So I'm going from dozens of visits a day to hundreds of visits a day. Again, it took this, at this point here, I've been publishing 2 blog posts per week for several months. And then I hit the month 5 mark and this happened, right? You have to prove yourself to the publishers, to the algorithms, as that you're here for the long term. Google and YouTube knows that most internet marketers, they jump in with both feet. They're excited. I'm going to do this. Yeah. And 3 weeks later, they're like, fuck, that was a lot of work. I'm over it. Never mind. Life got in the way. I had to move. I had to get a new job. This, that, the other happened. That's the reality for 99% of people. You have to be the 1% that continues to publish no matter what. And that's how you get rewarded with this kind of traffic. Now, let's take this to the next level. And this is kind of the big thing I want you to see. And again, it's so important to realize that this traffic here, I own this traffic, right? I don't own traffic on YouTube. I don't own traffic on Facebook. I own traffic on my website. I can put pop-ups, I can put affiliate ads, I can put AdSense ads, I can put ribbons up top, I can put my opt-in, I can sell products, I can promote affiliate products. I can do anything I want with traffic that comes to this site. I'm planting my Facebook retargeting pixel on these people. I can retarget them on Facebook. I now have an audience of 100,000? No, 15,000, 20,000 people on Facebook I could target. I could make custom audiences on Facebook. When the goal ultimately is to drive them back to your own WordPress website. And look at these 2 lines, right? The blue line is the last 3 months. The orange line is 3 months before. And look at some of these days. I mean, it looks like literally one session versus 78 sessions. That's a 78 times increase. That's 7,800% increase. Look at this spike here. It's astounding what happened there, right? Like, so we're literally talking about a 100-fold increase here. Right here, we're looking, the difference in numbers is literally from 60 to 200, from 40 to 200. That's 50. That's 5x. That's 500% increase in this. Total 640% increase in traffic from 1,000 or 1,500 visits a month to 12,000, or excuse me, from about 500 visits a month to about 3,000 plus visits per month. And as we know, I'm ending now at about 6,000 visits per month. But look at the shape of the line, right? So this orange dot here, where this one ends, kind of picks up here. So if you were to imagine this blue line here attached to the end of this orange line and you straighten this all out on one really long line, you can see I went from literally 0, nothing, nothing, nothing. I'm still publishing here, publish. You can see all these little peaks probably represent days I published and posted to my Facebook my Facebook page, which I've only got 300 friends on Facebook. I don't have an audience that I'm promoting this to. I haven't emailed really blog posts. I think I did actually email right here. But you can see the consistency of effort over long extended periods of time is what triggers this. And instead of simply putting out videos where I talk about how this works, because so many people in internet marketing are talking about it. They're on Instagram, they're posting pictures of their watches and their Ferraris and them in hammocks with their Mai Tais and their laptops, and that's all bullshit. This is the reality of the situation. Come hell or high water, I published. I built systems. I'm not a writer. I do not enjoy writing. I'm wordy. It's terrible. My actual writing's really, really bad. I don't enjoy it, and it's not even good quality. People won't read it. So I hired people, right? I went to Upwork. I found a writer to take my transcriptions and get it all written out and neat and tidy and posted onto my WordPress blog. So all I do is I get an email from her saying, Miles, this post based on that video is done. Go check it out. I log in. It's in a draft mode inside of WordPress. I do a quick preview and a read through, make sure the video's embedded in there. I do any internal linking to try to increase more relevance to my other content, and I click publish. It takes me 10 minutes beyond what I'm doing. I could increase that pace if I wanted, but I don't, because my goal here is very, very long term. It's marathon. Right? If you're running a marathon, you don't come out of the gates full speed. You come out of the gates with a pace that you can keep up for 20 something miles, because crazy people run marathons, right? And that's what you're doing here, is you need to come up with an idea of like, okay, I'm going to do this. Miles has showed me I'm going to commit to a 90-day, 120-day. I'm going to commit to a year, because you have to be able to commit to a year if you really want to make it. So what pace can you do for the next year? Do at least 5 videos a week. Do a video every day. Just figure it out. Make it work one way or another. And what's going to happen is you're not going to see the results you want at first. You're not going to see the results that you want at first, but you're going to get better. It's going to get easier. You're going to be able to put in systems in place to hit your 3-pillar content marketing strategy. So you can take that video content, you can get it onto a podcast, you can get it onto your blog, and then you just hit your pace, you get your rhythm, and you just do it regardless of what the feedback you're getting in the moment is. And when you hit that year mark and you look back, you're going to have a moment of thank you, Miles. But ultimately, you're going to be thanking yourself, because you're the one doing all the work. It's you who's going to be putting in the work. It's you who's going to be putting out a video every single day. And when you do, you will absolutely change your life. And with this kind of a pace, I could grow this into a $10,000 per month business probably by the end of the year. It would not surprise me if I was able to do that, but I don't want to. Again, because I'm trying to change the game. I'm pulling the rug out from underneath the fake-ass internet marketing gurus who are trying to charge you for all of this, and I'm just going to put it out for free because I think that's going to be fun, and because I have a successful business that I can rely on, and I don't need this as income, and all those chumps do. And those fake-ass business coaches, I'm coming for them. I'm calling them out. I'm getting fired up, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But if I was in a niche, if I was building a niche marketing business and I had this much traffic, this absolutely is equivalent to thousands upon thousands of dollars per month in income. This is a full-time business, and I built it from the ground up, bootstrapped, with minimal investments. With literally, you don't even need the lights. You don't even need to spend the $150. You just need to publish. You already have the cell phone in your pocket. You probably already have a laptop with a webcam. That is enough to start to get your voice out, to get better at it, to go through the motions and begin the process. Because once you start, then you keep going, a video a day. It's 365 days from a year. It's 365 days from a whole new life for you. It's absolutely astounding what you can create. It just takes consistent effort over long periods of time without analyzing the results too deeply, because if you do, you'll get in these lows of, oh man, I've published every day for 60 days and man, I'm only getting 30 views a day. Perfect. You're being tested. You have to push through that to get to the other side if you truly want to be successful with the internet marketing game. My goal with this channel, with these videos, and with this exact review was to show you how this all works. If you want to see exactly how it worked, I've got a 30-day video update. I've got a 60, a 90, a 120, and a 150-day update. I missed one of them. I think I missed a 60-day. You can literally go look at all of those different phases in a video similar to this and look at how poor my results were, but I didn't care because I was committed, because I knew, and I had to prove it to you, that this is what happens over extended periods of time. And this is what most people don't have the guts to do, is to carry on even when they're not getting the good results, because then their wife and their kids, wow, why are you doing a video a day? You're only getting 30 views. You're only getting 2 likes. Nobody's actually watching. Aha, but now you know that if you stick with it long enough, that's all going to change. And anyone who has been successful in anything has pushed through these down points, these lows, these challenges, these I'm putting in all this energy and nothing's happening. Why? Poor me. All this negative thought and emotion that goes on. We all deal with it, and it's those who can push through that and get to the other side and continue to publish in the face of adversity, to continue to work their plan no matter what happens. You lose your job, it happens. Go find another one, get your video up for the day. You lose your house, you have to move, it happens. Pack up, find another house, and get your video done every day. I'm not trying to be cold, I'm just trying to be real. Life happens to all of us, right? It is not always easy. I got sick as a dog. If you look back to my videos 2 weeks ago, I was a little nasally and twangy. I couldn't get off. All the energy I had, literally, I was taking Alka-Seltzer cold and flu, I was taking ibuprofen just to get 20 minutes mustered up to record a video, and then I had to go lay on the couch and could do nothing for the rest of the day. I had no energy. I was literally sicker than a dog after my last flights, but you know what? I got my videos up. Why? Because I had to prove this moment. I'm proving it to myself. I had to show you how it works. This is how it works. And I've been through hell to get to this point. And if you want to build a successful business, you're going to have to go through hell to get there. But when you're in hell, what do? You keep going and you get to the other side because it's easier. You become a stronger person for it. You become a more powerful person, and you're making positive change for yourself and your family and your local community. And think of the positive change you could do in the world when you're making 5, 6, 8, 10 grand a month from your internet business. And now you can volunteer. Now you can go do Sunday morning Bible school at the church. Now you can go volunteer and do Meals on Wheels. You can go to the hospice and volunteer. I don't know what you want to do, but you have a calling inside of you, and you have to push yourself to get there. This don't come easy. We all get tested to get here. So if you're going through hell and you feel like, am I really doing? Is it working today? Keep going. And if you haven't started yet, please just start, because you can do this. I know for a fact you can create these kinds of results. You can see this kind of trajectory. You can be growing to 100,000, 200,000 subscribers. I know you can do this. You just have to start, and then you have to stick with it at all costs, no matter what happens. I'm going to go ahead and hop off the soapbox at this point. I hope you've enjoyed this entire journey that you've come along with me on. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, if you wouldn't mind, give me a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Trying to bump my little graph up to the next level here with your help. Subscribe if you have not already. I do appreciate that. And if you haven't jumped on my email list, go ahead and jump on my email list. That's where I'm really starting to communicate with some of these next level ideas that I don't want to put out publicly, some of the advanced strategies, some of the trainings that I've been through that have really helped me out a lot. I'm really only putting that content out on my email list, so you'll see a button. I believe it'll come up here, might be over here, probably over here, and that's how you can get on my email list if you want to stay in touch. I thank you very much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and man, I would love to see you take this challenge on. I would love to see you find a rhythm and a pace and keep it up for a year. And I would love to see the comments from you in 6 months' time, in a year's time, saying, Miles, I committed, I bet on myself, I pushed through, I went through hell, I came out the other side, and I'm making money, and I have a successful business. I know it can happen for you. It takes more energy than anything, and you got to focus on one thing. Got to start, and then you got to stick with it for 9 months, 12 months plus. It'll change your life. I guarantee it. All right. Thanks again for your time. See you on the next video. Be well.